How are you guys? Is there anyone out there? Just get rid of my little music. All right, how you going? Oh, it looks like there's two there. Welcome. I'm Campbell. This is Spiral Up, and we are live. And today, what I wanted to talk about is it's definitely time, guys. It's definitely time to make a decision of who we want to be and where we want to be and what we're going to do, because it's pretty clear at this point that, the old world that we all grew up in and that we once knew has gone, and, the field is open for us to choose what we want to do. And so, yeah, it's time to make a move. What we need to do is decide where we want to be, where we want to end up, and start making a move towards that. Start learning, the skills we need, start gaining the attributes, start, modeling off people that are where we want to be, because, we are the power here. And we see this, the system it's crumbling. It's falling apart fast. They can't, stick enough Band-Aids on it to keep it together. And yeah, so basically what's happening with the energy is the old is falling away, and so we need to step in and fill that void. We need to step in with new ideas, with new everything, really, new actions, new tech. There's all this talk tech that's going on, and there's a lot of people researching it. This is all stuff that we need to get into. Healing, real healing. Get farm and away from the pharmacy and food as well. But it all starts with us coming from a place where where we're giving value, and that value has to be, what our natural skills and talents are, what makes us happy, because that's what we're all here with. We're all here with a piece of the puzzle. And if we all contribute, then, we can build. It's not going to be hard to build something better than what we had, but we can really build something wonderful if we all, if we all move in that direction. But what we've got to do is let go of the chains of society, of, Babylon, of the system, because we're at this point where a lot of people want to jump. They want to do different things. They want to move, but they're still worried, what if things go wrong? And the system acts as a support net, as mummy and daddy. And it's this thing that, if you stay in the system, well, at least that, you'll probably get fed and have a house and they'll give you some money. But if you go out on your own and something goes wrong, that it'll all be bad. But really, most people here have been working for, 20 years or so. And are you closer to that life yet? Because the thing is, with the system, it promises all these things and gives us all these trinkets and hangs them out in front of us, but it never really delivers, does it? People tend to get in more and more debt. The more people earn as far as wages and that, the more debt they get into, which basically means they're getting poorer, not richer. But if we're out of that system and we get rid of this debt and this interest-based system, nature has everything that we need, as long as we are using it and we're intelligent and we're out there with, with a plan, and we're out there building something. There's no use, going out and, sitting in the mud, and, like they used to do with the hippie communes and things in the 70s, everyone would rock out into the country, but no one would have any idea of what to do, so they'd build a teepee and they'd all be starving in a few weeks. So, that's got to go by, we've got to be smart about this. And it's all about building new communities. And, I've said it before that the cities are probably not going to be the place that we want to be, that we can be free and do what we want. Especially in the next few years, it will definitely change, but, we can see the push going on, and, look around, there are still a lot of people wearing things on their faces. A lot of it is clearly just hyped up, but there are a lot of people still out there doing it. So, we now need to make the choice. Where are we going to be in the future? Where do you want to be? What if this takes 5 years? Where do you want to be in those 5 years? Do you want to be in the system being told what to do with more and more restrictions, or do you want to be out building something new, so that when this, you know, finally comes to a crashing halt, there's something ready for other people to model off, you know. Because this is the other thing, you know, when this all crashes, people are going to be looking for solutions, for something that they can do. So what is it? You know, what's your talent, guys? We've all got them. And, you know, it doesn't matter how small you think it is. It all affects the energy, because after all, everything is energy, right? It's not this physical world we've been shown, it's energy. And that's why making a decision and standing in it, you know, it pretty much always works, as long as you stay in that frame of mind, because you're attracting good energy. The problem is when people go out and their mental mind, you know, says, yes, I want to do this, but their emotional mind is sitting there going, oh, what if this happens, what if that happens, and they start drawing that towards them. So it has to be, you know, we have to make proper decisions and understand that we can do whatever we want. We have the power to. We've just been told and taught that we don't, but that's clearly not true, because people do what they want all the time. And now it's up to us, it's up to everyone to start doing what they want and creating, you know, the earth that we want on this realm, and start living the way that we want to live. You know, so I've said it before, you know, it's time to search ourselves, find our talents, and work out a way that we can implement these and start giving out value, and get together with like-minded people and form communities. And, you know, this is how it works. This is how it's supposed to work. You know, it's not supposed to work the way that it is, with people doing jobs that they don't like, that they're not qualified for, that they don't have natural talents for. You know, that's silly and wasteful. So yes, it's time to choose. What are we going to do? I mean, pretty interesting time in history, hey? So anything goes, guys. You know, everything's out the window. It really is. So there is no better time than right now. So how are we going? What have we got? 17 people. All right. Oh, Sai, how you going? Nice to see you. Callum, hello. Ryan, hey, mate. How you going? Patio Mountain Man. Very cool thumbnail. Thank you. The clown car's wheels fell off. They are, aren't they? As far away from the system as possible. Agree, Callum. How do I say that? Shred talk. From Chicago. Thank you. Karen, how you going, Karen? Hello, welcome. Yeah, so this is the thing, guys. You know, are we all out there working? I mean, I know some of you at work and some of you aren't, you know, obviously with what's going on. So clearly, you know, if you're in a position where you're not, you know, going to a job, it's definitely time to start working, you know, on whatever, a new business. You know, what can you do? Can you make, you know, healthy foods, health tonic, grow food, write music, make art, whatever it might be. Get out there and help people building. You know, maybe you know how to make cob houses. Maybe, you know, good at growing and grafting fruit trees. You know, whatever it is, it's time to just get out there and start doing it. You know, maybe you're a mad scientist and you need to get out into the shed and get some experiments going. Mud Fossil Guy, how you going? Welcome. Prayers with Tea, hello from Phoenix. How you going? Phoenix, Arizona. Yes. Maya, Arizona. Well, there you go. We've got 2 Arizonians. I was listening to a video the other day, and it said that Arizona might come from Aryan, the Aryan zone. Who knows? Love a cob house. Yeah, cob houses are awesome. And this is the thing, you know, that we have this, you know, this idea that if you want a house, you've got to go and borrow all this money, and you've got to build out of bricks, and you've got to connect to the system and all this, and it's got to be big, and it's got to have, you know, all these different rooms. Sorry if my camera's freaking out a bit there. But it doesn't. You know, all you need is a good cob house or a tiny house, or, you know, go and buy an old bus and convert it, because the thing is, a house is really just about shelter and sleeping and, you know, when it's bad weather, somewhere to hang out. But most of the time we should be out in nature. You know, this whole, and clearly this is what they're doing, right? They don't want people to leave their homes. And, you know, well, we know that we're giving these rules are not the people who want the best for us. Yeah, I agree. So peeps with money can help people without money. And you will. And thank you again, Sai, for everything. You're amazing. And hello to Lee if she's there listening. But this is the thing. It's time to help everyone. And what is money now? If you do have loads of it, really, what is it? Because what can you do with it? I mean, what use is a mansion going to be? Even now, but in the future, it's just going to be a burden, because how are you going to run that thing and pay for it? Much better, if you do have money, to buy some land, get some people together, get some technologies, start industries where you can promote sustainable, good, nature, earth-based industries, because that is the future. Whether we have money or not, we're going to have some kind of trade, but in the end, if you're doing that, you're going to end up wealthy anyway, because wealthy is not about being better than anyone, having more than anyone. That's actually, of course, that's what we've been fed, but that doesn't work. Of course it doesn't work. We see it all the time, wealthy, sad, lonely people. Wealth should always be a community-based thing. Wealth comes from community, comes from people working together to build something and making sure that everyone is looked after. That's true wealth. If you're in a community where, if you go through bad things and bad things happen, if you know that you're always going to be looked after, that's wealth, right? If you have people and shelter and good food, that's so far ahead of where we are today, really, isn't it, in this society? So it's all about changing this way that we look at what we can do and what the what the restraints are in that. Because all this, like I said, all this stuff, that cars and all this kind of stuff, we don't need cars really. And as far as having money, there's two ways to be wealthy, right? You can earn more or you can spend less. If in communities, then you don't need a car for everyone. You can have a couple of community cars. And this is the way that we need to start thinking, communities, and really start working together where most of the time we have to be ourselves and to, use our talents and live in our energy rather than being sent to do things that we don't really want to do. There's always going to be stuff that you don't want to do, but much better if it's 5 hours a week than, 40 or 50, right? All right, who's here? Doobaloo, is that Doobaloo? Hello from Birmingham. Welcome. Brian Tucker, buy Ghost Town with Abandoned Mind. Oh, for 15 grand. That sounds all right. The Abandoned Mind too. I saw someone's got a series on YouTube. Oh, is my light freaking out? And yeah, they bought an abandoned ghost town where they've been living. And that's another thing, like Michael Tunja and Ubuntu, the small one small town, and he's done all the work and worked out all the figures and everything, and it's based on 3 hours a week. So everyone who's involved only has to put in 3 hours a week into the community, and the community has its own businesses and its own, grows its own food, everything it needs to be self-sufficient, and then also produces stuff that it can trade with. And 3 hours a week, and it works. And what are we doing now? It's ridiculous, right? They tell us we need to go and work 80 hours a week when you can do it with 3. Awesome prayers. We're moving to an RV park and plan to save and buy land. Awesome. Prayers with T. Yeah, awesome. And I think that's a great option. I think, van life too, a lot of people are doing it out of necessity now. Literally, they're losing houses and stuff and moving into vans. But, if you don't have to do that, why not do it anyway, right? Have fun, sleep on the beach every night, change the view, or go into a park or whatever, because so much cheaper and so much freer. And this is the thing. We've really got to start looking at different ways to live and forming groups and maybe pooling money together to get land, because this is the thing. And with permaculture, you don't need the best land. And if you're building self-sufficiency, you don't have to be close to cities, so you can get it pretty cheap. You can get land pretty cheap. Australia is not necessarily that cheap, but I know that in Europe and America especially, there's tons of really cheap land. and good land. In Australia, we've got cheap land, but it's literally desert. So I'm not sure what you could do with it. Oh, 27 of you watching. Thank you for joining me all. So I am going to be doing a live every Wednesday. Sorry there was no upload on Monday. I want to do an upload Monday, Friday, and a live Wednesday. So again, if there's any topics you want me to cover, leave me a comment. And I shall get onto it. I've also got some interviews coming up that I'm going to be posting on here to do with masculinity, and I'm trying to line up, a roundtable so we can get a couple of guys, a couple of girls, and talk about this whole masculine, feminine, 27 genders thing that's going on. And also, I will leave a link in the description. I've done recently a interview with Lorenzo from the New Now on that topic, on masculinity, whatever you want to call it, manhood, being male, and just male power, standing, what is a male, right? What are we supposed to do? What's the job? Because that seems to be lost. And I understand, it's for females too. Can really only speak obviously from the male perspective. I don't even have, I've only got 2 sons as well, so I haven't really been through that perspective. So yeah, we'll get a couple of women on and get a discussion going. And it might be something that's a good thing to do on a regular basis, get some roundtables going and just talk about, what people are going through, because as well as everything that's going on top of it all, there's all obviously the hardship that a lot of people are going through, but a lot of people are going through spiritual awakenings, which makes it more confusing on top of it all. Because if the world's going out of control and your brain is too, or your mind, obviously it's a confusing time. It's not easy. And of course there's a whole mental health aspect as well. So I definitely want to get onto some topics and really start to sort of get into what people are thinking and feeling out there, and how we can really get some how we can help more, just how we can get hopefully some good advice out to people, and some good things that they can try. And Sai, you're in here, aren't you? Let me know if you're up for a chat. Sounds like you do interesting work, so if you want, that'd be cool too. We sort of hit those topics as far as addiction and things like this, because everything is being amplified at the moment. We know that it's easing now, but with the lockdown, that really pushed people that were close to the edge. It pushed them over, so many people over, and we've got all these rising stats of mental health, suicide, all these kind of things, domestic violence, and so that obviously needs to be addressed. People are desperate out there. People want a bit of help, and a lot of the time, most of the time, just talking about it, just people having somebody tune in and talk and discuss things is enough. So I'll definitely try and get that sorted. Simon, yes, awesome, cool, awesome, right. I'll send you a message and we'll hook something up. That would be cool. Awesome. Who else is here? Presbyt T, Mud Fossil, hello, Callum. 3 Arizona people. Now there's 3. These Arizonians are multiplying. Forever Flat, how you going? I didn't see you there. Welcome. So there we go. Excuse me. So there we go. So how is everyone doing? Has anyone sort of got any things that they're struggling with? I know one thing that people bring up a lot is this whole trying to interact with other people, trying to especially family and people that are around you, as far as what's going on and what's being implemented, and talking to people. And a lot of people are concerned with their parents, the elderly people, because obviously they're being targeted as the front line of this rollout, which to some people is pretty frightening. So that's something else I'll try and get onto is how do you talk to these people? I mean, obviously the first thing is don't ever try and tell anyone anything. You know, because all they're going to do is put up a brick wall and go, nah, you're wrong, because, you know, think of you when someone tries to tell you what to do. It doesn't work. So the best way is really breadcrumbs, and I guess leaving information around. But I think if you approach these things from, you know, the language of the universe, emotion, you know, if you approach it from, look, you know, I'm here, I'm talking about this because I care for you, and I'm not necessarily worry, you know, don't sort of go the fear route, but, you know, just so that you know, you've read a few things, instead of saying this is killing, I've got to be careful what I say here on YouTube, but instead of sort of, you know, putting this, you know, going in with a sort of attack, you know, kind of mentality, you know, if you come from a place of, you know, I'm just here because I care, I have heard things, or have you heard this, or I saw an article, you should have a look at it. You know, things like this. So just take it a lot more gently, because it may be hard to do because people are getting worked up. And this is the thing, everyone's worked up and emotional. And so when they're approaching these subjects, it's coming out wrong, and it's coming out as, you know, you know, all these people are fighting and attacking each other with what's happening, you know, everywhere. But, you know, saying that, there was definitely something that went on. There was definitely some kind of shit. Let me know if you felt it. About a couple of weeks ago, we seem to have turned some kind of corner. Something happened. Maybe there's just enough people now that are awake and on that sort of vibration that, you know, the energy rose, you know, the frequency, maybe that's what things, I don't know, seem to be a lot lighter. And of course, you know, the clowns that are trying to, you know, take control are just faster and faster every day. So, I mean, you know, just do remember, this is all a movie. You know, my best advice to involved, it's just a movie. You know, it's only life. What's the worst that can happen, right? Because in my perspective, this is just the dream. We're just having an experience here. You know, as they say, we're just spirit having a human experience. So this is not the be all and end all. And as well, you know, remember this reality has been here for a long time. It's not like it can be ended by, you know, some weird, crazy humans. You know, so all this, it's all fear. It's all false evidence appearing real. It's clearly false evidence. You don't check other YouTube videos, you know, from the MSN, all these people that they're promoting. Go and have a look at the views compared to the dislikes. They've all got, you know, 1 million views and 500,000 dislikes. So they're just pumping up their stats, their view stats and things, and no one's liking what they're doing. And then obviously we know what's happening with people putting out different opinions. But all this is doing is waking people up faster and faster, more every day. You know, so we've definitely got this. But the thing is, because we're in this energy that's very fluid at the moment, and it's very up to, you know, we can change and manipulate it a lot easier than we could a couple of years ago. So we've really got to start, you know, putting our influence of where's to end up, you know, because this is the thing, they're still driving, you know, this fear, you know, that, you know, war and all this stuff, China, you know, people dropping over from the jab, and it's still a very fear-based narrative. So I definitely turn your tally off. That's step number one, right? Understand it's a movie, it's a show, and they've only got you if you believe the script. That's their only power, is getting us to believe what they're telling us. And we can see it's their only power, because as soon as people turn off, which they are, you know, then everything's starting to change. Everything's shifting, because no one's believing the narrative anymore. You know, they're being exposed, right? The veil is lifting, as they say. And, you know, I mean, we're lucky to be here, right? What a time to be alive. You know, as long as you look at it that way, you know, because we're always our biggest asset, but we're also our biggest problem. You know, we can be our biggest hurdle, our biggest obstacle, or we can be our biggest, you know, most empowering self. It's just a choice. We get to choose. And then, of course, I'm saying this all the time, that's what it comes down to, guys, is choice. We get to choose, and no one gets to take that away from you ever. They can't, even if it comes down to the final bit. You still have to submit and give in. People cannot take choice away from you. So that's what we have, is choice, and understand that, and stand in your power. Don't let anyone tell you that they get to make the rules for you. What are they, God? It's like, show me your slave papers and that you own me. No, I mean, people will try and tell you that, and as long as you believe them, then they'll keep going with that charade. They'll keep pushing it because they think they got you. So don't go there in the first place. Yeah. All righty, I'm ranting. I think I've spoken enough. All right, Florida. Oh, you're in Florida, Brian Tucker. I heard that you guys have got the universal income coming in. I've done an interview which is coming up tonight on my Autodidactic channel, and apparently in the McDonald's in Florida, I have to pay people $50 to come in for a job interview because everyone's on universal basic income and no one wants to work at McDonald's anymore. So there you go. Brian's having trouble activating his superpowers. Watch my interview tonight, my chat on Auto. There's some very interesting stuff pertaining to superpowers. Yeah, it does take a while, Callum. I agree. And just remember that the at that point that you believe that your perspective is that you have those superpowers, well, then you'll have them. Kai, how you going? Thank you for joining us. Hello. Evil J script. Earthkeeper, welcome. We are growing in numbers. We are rising in truth. I agree. Best cartoon ever. It's a pretty good cartoon. Truth is being revealed. Jay Widener, the voice is in my head. Don't like Elsa. Yeah. Schizophrenia, shamanism, and the Archon. Wow, what a great video. And my brother are on the mend. Oh, good. Glad to hear it there, Simon. Did I share that with you? Because, yeah, that's a great video, isn't it? Very, very, very telling, that one. If you haven't seen it, Jay Widener, his channel is... I actually did an interview with him as well. I think there's 2 up there from me. I'll remember his channel name in a minute. But, yeah, he's got some really good interviews. Check out Jay Widener, Weidner. His channel will come up. And check out my interviews on there and like them. Greetings, Kahuna Matata. Aha. It means no worries. Welcome. Dubai. Is that Dubaloo? Dubaloo. You got it in the UK. I can't see what you've got. Yes, I said that with Callum. Yeah, people being made homeless because they can't manage the universal income. Oh, okay. Sorry, you've got that in the UK. Okay, the universal income. People are being made homeless because they can't manage. What they can't is, what do you mean? Like it's too low, the universal income, or? Yeah, gold. Good. Yeah, it's a very good interview. Oh, yes, there you go, Callum. Thank you. I want to watch that interview. Callum's just whacked the link in the chat. But yeah, so this is the thing. Everything, that we're doing, life and all this kind of stuff. Sorry about my lights. It's going crazy, isn't it? Oh, there we go. I've got skin tone again. You see what? Oh, I'm not racist. I'm changing color. What was I going to say? Yeah, everything, the way that we look at this reality is what's changing. That's really what's changing. The whole thing, right? The veil is being lifted, our eyes being opened for those with eyes to see. All these things that we've been told and we've been reading forever in all these theosophy books. It all seems to be coming true because there was such a veil put over us, that believed that, to have a house, get a loan and build it here, and then you needed a car and even cars, even for transport, with the licensing thing, which is all, corporate law. They got us thinking that we can't even make our own vehicles and things anymore. anywhere, boats, planes, everything, cars. And so it's this whole thing that we must depend on the system, which, of course, that's why they call it the nanny state. It's mum and dad, right? So we've really got to understand that's such a box. Everything that we look at, everything, the way they generate power, health, food, everything needs to be looked at differently. We just need to understand that there's not one way to do things. There's a million ways to do things. It's like with car engines. They've been teaching us forever, for 100 years, that it's only the internal combustion engine. They might have the straight six and the V's and the boxes, but they're all internal combustions. They're all the same engine. And then you get the rotary, so we get one different one. But there's been different motors, designed all throughout the last 100 years, but none of them get to market, obviously, and we know the story, that they're not allowed to. They weren't allowed to compete. But that also makes us think that, that there's only one option, right? And that's the biggest thing, is we've really got to train our minds to the new world. And what that is that they're not the power, we're the power. They don't give us choice, we have the choice. We get to make the decisions, we get to choose. And so whatever it is, that this is a thing about, starting communities and that. You don't have to be on grid. You can make power, so many different ways now. That's everywhere. And you can make it for free. It's easy. Everything, drainage, sewage systems. We don't need all these pump systems pumping stuff into the ocean. There's ways to do it properly. There's ways to build swimming pools and not need chlorine. Everything. Nature provides all, right. If we just mimic nature, then we're pretty much, pretty good 90% of the time or more. So I think that's the biggest thing, is this is a mental, and we've heard it before, this is like a mental war, war in the mind. But it's also up to us, it's an internal thing, mental, as far as us changing our perspective and looking under that veil, peeking under the veil and seeing opportunity, because that's what it really is. That's what we've got here. That's what we've been given. Michael De Silva, how you going? The old cycle cars, like push cycle, do you mean? Jay Leno, 1920, yeah, electric car. I saw that. He's even got like the plug-in station for it. Alexandra, how you going? Welcome. Going to convert my car with the Geet. With the Geet? What's the Geet? Can you hear my cat? She's yelling at someone's door. What was I going to say? Yeah, my bus is diesel. This is another thing, right? Diesel. So I'm gonna work out how to just run it off used oil. But diesel was literally invented by a farmer so that farmers could get free fuel for their tractors and machinery by using waste from their crops. And of course, then what happens? They start adding petrol to it and say, "Oh no, you have to buy it from us now. You can't make it yourself." Alex, how you going? Welcome. Coffee time. It's not even cold. I'm doing well. What is universal income? Yeah. Basically, forever flat. It's like it's like the dole, Centrelink, but you don't get cut off it. Basically, you go on it. Hopefully, it's more than the dole. It's livable, but it's basically just a system to own people. And this is, of course, why we saw what happened last year happen, and so many people lose their jobs. So many, industries and businesses get shut down that are still, shut down, still being harassed. Like we had a shutdown in Perth over the weekend. They announced it at 4:00 on Friday, so you can imagine what that did to all the restaurants and everyone who was getting ready for weekend trading on a long weekend, and all the people who are casual workers. They suddenly can't pay their rent, all for what? So there's all these people that are out there without jobs, and so they're going to offer universal income to them. Don't worry, just go on this and we'll give you money, And of course we do that. Yeah, exactly. Kahuna Matata. It's socialism. Then they own you. Then they own you. Geek can be used for any combustible engine. There you go. Thank you, Callum. Excuse me. And there's a link too. So I saw it. There's a guy who's put a Tesla electric motor into a combi van. That's pretty cool. Oh, Paul, how you going? Did you see the uproar in the UK around the proposal Euro Super League? Yeah, I did. Made you a bit frustrated to see that millions and millions of people across the globe can join as one and defeat greed. Or what was that? It made you frustrated to see that millions across the globe can join as one. Didn't join as one, do you mean? Is it going ahead? Because yeah, basically that was they wanted to change football or soccer as we call it, isn't it? Is it to like a super league, shorter games, they change all the rules, and it's basically also they can make more money, and it really destroys. So is that still going ahead? I thought that everyone stood up and said we're not into it. So there you go. Shinto, how you going? Oi. Landlords only pay rent to play. Is that what with universal income? This is the thing. I mean, you know, for all we know, the government are out there buying up, you know, all these businesses, you know, for pennies on the dollar and going to turn them into holding cells for people on the universal income. That's another reason to, you know, to get out and to start building wealth is, you know, what if it all falls apart and you end up trapped in a city and you don't have much option? You know, once you're in that position, it's going to be harder to get out of it. Sakiberg, yeah, I know, right? That's the same person. If you haven't seen that picture, Jen Psaki and Zuckerberg, yeah, they look like cool twin robots. You meant that people that can come together to defeat that, but then it sucks that we can't come. Oh, yes, yeah, no, yep, I agree, yeah, well, there you go. It's kind of ironic, isn't it? You know, because what's that saying, you know, from the elites is give them, you know, in circuses or, you know, football and cake. And so people are fighting for the football, but not for their human rights. Water fuel motors. Yeah, Bob, was it Bob Lazar? Or was wasn't he the UFO guy? But yeah, I know what you mean. The guy in California with like a dune buggy. Was his name Ken? Ken something? There's quite a few like hydrogen basically cells and things like that. And all these things, you know, aren't that hard to make. And this is, you know, Michael Tellinger talks a lot about it, that, you know, if you could make things like laptops, but make them, you know, without all the built-in BS and the encryption and all the virus and make them so they actually work well, you'd corner the market, because everything that we get, it's all made with this built-in crap that we don't want, that reduces how good the product is. You know, so it's not hard to make things better. And if we do it, you know, en masse in lots of little places, you know, that's the way to overtake these massive companies, not to produce more big companies, but thousands of little ones. And yeah, and then just, yeah, intertrade, interdependency, all that kind of stuff. Get together over footy, but not over human rights. Exactly, yep. Are we just presuming that the next generation want freedom, or are they happy being taught? Well, you know, if they want to stay in the cities, they can stay in the cities. That's up to them. This is the thing, is everyone has choice. And so if everyone's got choice, we get the choice if we don't want to be in the cities too. So we can leave. But yeah, no, I mean, clearly not everyone's going to leave the city. I mean, I would say, I mean, I don't know, but there's going to be a big percentage, at least 20, 30%, who are going to run for a universal income and love it, and love that they get to sit on their butt and do nothing and waste their lives. And that's their choice. That's their choice. That's an offer. They can accept it. You don't have to. This is the thing. It's an offer to us as well. So we don't have to accept it, but they want us to believe we have no choice when we actually do. We were never asked to approve UBITH. I'm not sure what UBITH is. Obsolescence. Yeah, well, I mean, this is a thing. The industries and these people, I mean, look at, Hollywood, right? These people are proving themselves as unnecessary and more as a burden and a drain. So yeah, they're making themselves obsolete. Let's just sit by and eat the popcorn, right, and watch it fall, while building something better. New thing you just heard today on the radio was pushing for more rights for renters. Yeah, well, what's happening in Perth? I don't know about the rest of the world, but in Perth, like to rent a house is so much more than to buy them. So you could buy a house, just like a small, just say 3x1. You could probably get one for 300 grand, a cheapish one. So what's that? That's probably about $300 a week. But to rent it costs you $400 a week. But of course, everyone's lost their jobs, so no one can get loan, right? Jeez, that was planned. I don't think we should call them elites. Oh no, did I say elite? No, no. Those who wish to rule us, the parasites. Let's call them parasites. Yeah, well, yeah, planned obsolescence started with the light bulb, and that's kind of, this is the thing. I remember having a thought years ago when I was young, because we get told that, these people in who live in tribes and that, in the Amazon and places like this, that, they're so, backwards and, their lives must be so hard and that. But you see these people and they look pretty happy and pretty healthy, but we're taught that they can't be, that you need all this stuff around you and electric lights and stuff to be happy. But really, or because, I've said it before, it's like a lot of the time happiness is not, getting more stuff. It's getting rid of all the crap that you don't want. Getting rid of the baggage. Combustion engines can perfectly be converted to run on hydrogen. Oh, can they? With fuel cells, I guess. Hydrogen fuel cells. I did not know that. I guess it's just a different fuel they're burning. Doesn't hydrogen burn hotter though? I don't know. Search for Ryan Long, new video on lazy culture. Alrighty, there you go, everyone. Ryan Long, lazy culture. Then the social credits come in and you don't get your UBI if you don't pay. Yeah, well, exactly. This is the next step, and it's already in China. It's already in. They literally, like everything you do gets rated literally, and as far as posting on social media as well. And if your score goes, as it drops, you get less and less privileges and less rights until you just end up as this person sitting in a room. Slowly falling into the fetal position. How many politicians do you need to change a light bulb? I don't know, Brian. How many do you need? Yeah, Ken, but so Bob built one as well. Bob Lazar. Well, there you go. Bob Lazar also built a water car. Yeah, they'd never changed a light bulb. They would just promise to. That's probably about right. They're banning what? Why are they banning menthol cigarettes? Brian Tucker, all of them, because they have never done anything productive in their lives. 95% of electricity needed for electric car. Yeah, well, this is another one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Menthol cigarettes cancelled. Why? What's the deal with menthol? Check out the Swede guy who did it with his Saab 30 years ago. Yeah, many have made water car. Okay, so he's done it with an internal. Because I'm not sure if the guy in California was an internal combustion engine, but I guess it was. It was just a dune buggy. But this is more tech. That guy, he was basically driving around everywhere telling everyone they could do it. And then he went out to dinner one night and stood up and said, I think I've been poisoned, fell over dead. So I'll let you draw your own conclusions from that one. Menthol is, okay, well, there you go. Menthol is antiviral, antifungal, antibacterial, even in cigarettes. So, okay, well, there you go. So I guess what? If you're going to smoke, you should be smoking menthol. Or, and this is the other thing, if you do tobacco, It was Callum who told me he gets, is it organic as well, Callum? But at least, you know, non-processed, non-chemicalized, shall we say, tobacco. Because this is the other thing, you know, even tobacco, if it's 100% tobacco, it's, you know, a lot of people, we've seen the pictures of the old Chinese men and that smoking away, and they're 120 years old. It's all the chemicals they put on it. That's the bad thing. Organic, non-addictive. There you go. And where's that from? Germany, I think, isn't it? Oh, wow. Social credit scores come right down to how well you keep your phone charged. Yeah, right. It probably does, right? You know, you probably, if you don't, you know, pick up to a telly mark, you probably get wrapped across the knuckles. Menthol cigarettes are banned in the UK. You have a special filter. Yeah, okay, that's what we hear. I've noticed that that's come out here as well. I had to go buy some for someone, and I had no idea what to ask for, and I ended up with the wrong ones. But yeah, you crack a bit of plastic or something, and it turns into menthol. Wow, okay. They add all the carcinogens, yeah, there you go, to tobacco. And they want us to think that, they tell us that it's when you burn organic things, don't they? Where it's caused from, but it's not. It's from the chemical compounds. And really I guess what it comes down to is it would be like radiation and you know, are they, you know, like radioactive isotopes? Are they monoisotopes? Your vapes are menthol. Guess I better stock up. Is it real menthol? This is a thing as well. I mean, you can probably get some real menthol and make your own vape, can you? Can you sort of put your own stuff in those? I don't know. Let's try to work out free energy and radium. Yes. Yeah, check out my video tonight as well. I put it on Premiere tonight. Yeah, some interesting developments on that front. I've got a few more videos on that as well. But radium, you know, free energy, free heat, free cooking, and now they tell us that it's going to kill you. But when you go to the hospital, they'll X-rays through you. You know, in the name of health. So everything's backwards. Everything's backwards. Adam Weber, tobacco is sacred. Well, this is what I used to think about a lot, you know, because obviously we get the story of tobacco comes from, you know, South America or the Americas, and it was used in ceremony. It was a ceremony. You know, they weren't walking around with packets of Winnie Blues up their sleeve. So yeah, but of course now is nothing. You know, it's like everything, right? They strip the soul out of everything. And you know, they parasites because they don't like us. They don't like the creation because, well, if you really want to get into it, they're not from them. They're you know, all these things we've heard about in the books, whatever you want to call them, the fallen angels, the jinn, the whatevers, the parasarchons, the half-wits. There you go. Nice one. The Manitou, the god, the compulsive liars. My social says no suit for me. Oh my God, I'd be stuffed on social credit scores. Oh my God. Yeah, I'd be yeah, in the corner with one baked bean. The filters, paper. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I heard that most of the stuff is in the paper. Natural paper, natural filters. Fact check says I'm wrong again. That's all right. YouTube told us that we were inciting violence, and so they deleted the Instant Karma Project. I have no idea what we said, but clearly, you know, guilty King LeBron James can say things, and that's not apparently inciting violence. Use, don't use. That sounds like a good advice. Sabbatean, Frankists, saboteurs, the Frankists, yes. And it sounds like Frankenstein too as well, doesn't it? Right, the Frankists, the Franks. because that was a religion. It was started by who was it? Someone Frank something, but someone Frankism or something. And that's basically was melding different parts of the os together. So it was like a Frankenstein religion. And of course, around that time period, 1500s, I'd be that chick on the Black Mirror episode with negative social score. Psalm 23:4. I am not familiar, Si. You'll have to let me know. Did I catch the size of the moon today? No. I did see it last night. It was a good size, but it wasn't huge. It was full. I'll have to go have a look tonight. Was it big, was it? Just like what they're doing with cannabis in America. Yeah, well, this is the whole thing about cannabis in America too. Everyone was like going, yay, yay, yay. They're legalizing it. Now, legalizing it means that the corporation is taking control of it. That's nothing to say yay about. They should have just be decriminalized, which means that it's just a plant, right? It's just a plant. And this is the thing about choice, if people want to smoke it, they should be able to smoke it. But I mean, we know that there's so many other uses for it that have benefits, and that's not even talking about hemp. And this is the other thing, like hemp was illegal. You can grow it. They've got a few farms now, but it was illegal for so long because they basically said, "Oh no, that's marijuana," but clearly it's not. And it's one of the best building materials, in the world, and you can grow a crop in 6 months. But they this is what they get rid of. They just everything that they just want to own and control everything and turn it into something that they can get money from is really what it is. And they've been using fake paper and swapping that for real resources, and that's how we've ended up in this strange situation. For confused children, real ones, no tobacco is healthier, more natural. I've heard a few people saying this lately, Adam. I have to look into it. Hey there, Joshua, Patrick. Oh, Patrick. Tangatuhu, welcome. Oh, know me by my soul. Welcome. Hello. I'm in Maui. Usually I catch you early in the morning. I like smoking. I choose how it affects me. I manifest me. Whatever the dumbasses, they're trying to tell me they can suck it. I agree. Joshua, good morning. No face. We are forbidden from exploring this infinite plane. We're basically prisoners here. Yeah, well, this is the thing about, obviously they're pushing this global, warming agenda. That's going to be the next on the agenda, and Project Bluebeam. But, this is why we're not allowed up there, isn't it? But I think that's all going to start to change pretty soon. They just can't keep control that much longer. And as soon as that falls apart, falls away, then who knows what's out there. Probably the police comparison, truth bomb, knowledge over fear. Hello, the Felon Show with King Dave. Hey, Ron, is that... Have you changed the name of your channel, Dave? Welcome. How you going? Now you're King Dave. Hebron James. What? King. So Dave, yes, welcome. I've did a interview, a chat with Dave when it was the LeBron Show. The Felon Show. Now it's the Felon Show with King Dave. Dave King. Patrick, hello. How you going? Around the campfire. Biggest producer of CBD is Theresa May's family, the ex-Prime Minister of UK. Well, really? Well, there you go. Isn't that interesting? Cornering the market. Anto-mouthpiece giving health advice, yeah. Monsatan, yes. Balloon-style airships. Yeah, well, they look fairly simple to build, don't they? It's like with all this technology, they try and tell us that it's really hard, even just with electricity, but it's not. They just want us to think, especially like the Zeppelin, right? Oh, if you go up on a balloon, you'll explode and die. But it's just all fear. Big logging industry. Oh, Yeah, I did actually watch a couple of days ago. I rewatched There Are No Forests on Earth. Interesting. It's a good documentary. Hey, Dave. Hey, much love to you too. So yeah, Dave's channel, The Felon Show, and there's an interview with me on it. And there's one with Max Eigen and Leadk. Adam Weber, inhale oxygen, exhale carbon and oxygen. Just don't paint it with thermite paint or painting. Yeah, we inhale oxygen, we exhale carbon dioxide. I mean, and the whole tree. I mean, I think this is the thing. I mean, I wonder if things will start growing bigger, because there could, this whole, global warming thing. There could be something as far as the atmosphere. Obviously, is always changing. Maybe the CO2 levels are rising again. Which is what you would need for these, large, organisms to live. Animal, because they tell us all the big animals and plants and all this stuff, they just stop at the trees, and then they tell us, that most of the big animals were lizards, but I think everything was a lot bigger, not so, probably not that long ago. Last Frankenfurter. Yeah, exactly right. They make millions. Yeah. I mean, but this is the story, and this is, this is what we've known for a long time, but other people are starting to wake up to, is all these things that are bad and that are pushed and that you can then get, persecuted and put in prison for. It's all run by the parasites. It's like the CIA, right? It's cocaine into America. 7 a.m. the moon will be massive again. All right, now you're over east, aren't you? So I'll get out tomorrow morning, I guess, early in the morning. Animals say stop killing us. Yes, well, I mean, I think everyone should stop killing animals. Myself, it's not good. It's not good karma. How can it be? And this is another thing, and I haven't got into it too much, and I'm not going to get into it too much here, but maybe I'll do a video. It's such a triggering topic. Is food, and not just food, but to eat or not to eat animals. And I find it really strange, because when you talk to 95+% of humans, I'll tell you that they love animals. They don't want to do them harm and all this kind of. And if you see an injured animal, you'll help it, and you definitely wouldn't go out and kill one. But burgers, right? So it's just, it's I don't know. They tie it, it's especially with males, of course, because they tie it to this caveman thing. And so you have these males running around going, like literally going, it's better to be a caveman. I mean, really? Yeah. So anyway, I'm not going to get into that too much, but it's just an interesting way that they've changed the way that we think, because we all love animals, don't want to hurt them, but the meat industry, right? So there you go. Sitting at a bus stop looking at a square shape. What? You're sitting at a bus stop looking at a square-shaped rainbow blob on the sun right now. Wow, get some photos. Maybe it's one of these the suns that they put up, with the honeycomb face on them. I often see the moon and sun in the sky at the same time. Yeah, I think, what have they got? Yeah, exactly right. You stole them both. And apparently, I haven't timed it, but we have shorter sunrises and sunsets than in Europe. So there you go. Has it been 17 years, Shinto? I'm not sure. 17 years for what? Cicadas brood X coming. Well, let's hope not. That Billy Boy wants us to eat grasshoppers, doesn't he? And cicadas and things. But this is the thing. I mean, you don't need that much land. Everyone can grow their own food. It's quite easy. It's healthy. It's fun. And this is, why they're making, blocks smaller and getting people into apartments and things is when you got a bit of land, you can grow your own food. You can do so much things. You don't need that much, just bigger than most city blocks, but a quarter of an acre you can do a lot on. There's a guy in the US somewhere, I'm not sure what city, who's literally got a farm, and it's on a quarter acre block in the suburbs, and he lives off it full time. Here in Indiana. Oh, what, you've got them at the moment? What, you've got the plagues? Are the plagues coming back? Bill Gates says release the locusts. Yeah, 40 acres and a mule. Patrick, what? You've got 40 acres and a mule? Is that what you mean? I mean, 40 acres is awesome, and a mule's awesome too. It just sounds kind of funny. Oh, there you go. So yeah, right. Exactly. Coronavirus. Oh gosh, I just remembered I've got someone I've got to get back to. Someone was mentioning that a lot of big abattoirs are on ley line crossing points, ley line vortexes. Could do so much with half an acre. It's all you need. You can sustain a family off that, no problems. And so this is the other thing is towns, country towns where there's cheap houses, because country towns have blocks that big. So even if you could get, a group of 10 families, and you all buy houses in the same town and buy them next to each other and rip all your fences down maybe. But even if the town's still going, it's not abandoned. If you start getting people in there and you start influencing, you can change the town then. You can get voted in as council, then destroy the council and start businesses up and do it that way, just sort of by showing people a better way. If you move into a town and you get 10 blocks next to each other and you're growing all your food, it's all free, you're making free energy, and plus you're producing something to sell, and you're all only working 5 hours a week, we're going to, start looking and saying, what are you doing? That looks like a good idea. Let's go to Cairo. Is there a Cairo in Illinois as well? Well, there you go. Where is Illinois? Illinois is at the Midwest. Is that right? I think that's right. I know there's lots of Egyptian names, obviously. Grand Canyon, that's Nevada, is it? Am I right? But down along the Mississippi, down south, there's lots of them, isn't there? Like Karnak and places like that. This is called a great locust year. Oh, okay, it's great ficus, because Brood X is the largest. So what's Brood X? That's a type of locust, is it? Little Egypt. Yeah, there's a series which is really good called, I think it's called America is Egypt, or Egypt is America, something like that. Chicago the Third. What? Carnation. Chicago has been flattened a few times. Chicago. Cargo. Oh, there you go. Chic cargo. That's where the good stuff comes on ships, right? Lots of Egypt main towns in Kentucky. Yeah, right. They're all over the place. So Colorado. Apparently Kolo or Kolor is a Russian word that means something to do with Aryan. I don't know. The whole name things is different, but that's really for my other channel. I'm not supposed to be talking about this. We're supposed to be spiraling up. But this is the thing. I mean, rediscovering the past is we're getting, this is really showing us, our potential, what we were, what we can be again. It's all around us, and it's all being uncovered, unearthed, brought back out into the public. And isn't it interesting that all this information, about past, civilizations, antiquity, all this stuff, shapes of the realm, it all came out, 6-7 years before now, and what's happening now, it's the exact time that we need all that information. So really look at it, and when you look at the past and what's gone on to get us here, and I think everything's going to plan. Everything seems to be working synchronistic. So I don't think we've got anything to worry about at all. You know, we know what they're doing before they do it at this point. You know, we know the next two moves, right? It's the green agenda, and then it's definitely coming, guys. Project Bluebeam. All the governments are starting to talk about it. They're all starting to, you know, their info about all this kind of stuff. So that's coming too. So who knows? I mean, gosh, who knows? Probably just stage, but there's definitely other life out there. So who knows what's going to happen in the next couple of years? All I can tell you is going to be a lot of big change. You know, no doubt, you know, we get to choose as always. So it's definitely going to be a better place to create. But it is up to us to make sure we do that, because I'm still not convinced that there's not going to be a split, because look at how many people are buying into this and buying negative energy. I don't think that negative energy and the people that are waking up on a high and are on a higher frequency, I don't think they can exist in the same plane. So there may be a split. So it's seriously time to choose your sides, guys. Like I said, decide where you want to be, who you want to be, find out how to get there, skills, you know, get the right kind of people around you, and just go for it with the understanding that you can do it. You know, whatever pops up, you can fix it. You know, because really, once you leave Babylon, what you're leaving behind is burden. You're leaving behind all the stuff that's holding you back. And so you're walking into freedom. And that's where we all need to be. So there you go, guys. I've been going for an hour. So I will leave it there. Like I said, I'll get videos up Monday, Friday, and we'll get a few interviews going. Simon is going to join us. Simon from Sydney. Yes, it's time to get our shrine back. I agree. And so that should be a really interesting interview. Simon worked with addiction and things like this. And also, yeah, if there's anyone listening now or sees this in the future, any women, any strong, empowered women, feminine women, who'd like to be on a chat, you know, with a couple of males, myself included, then let me know, and we'll set up some roundtables as well and start, you know, standing in our power and our ethics for who we really are and what we know is right, and that's being men and women, you know, under law, under spirit, under good. Let's call it that. Good. Good is God, you know. Just add the O. Evil is devil. It's just that simple. So there you go, guys. Love you all. Look inside yourself, because there is greatness in there, and more than ever, the world needs to see it. So thanks for spending some time with me. Love you all. Have an amazing day, and I will talk to you all soon. And tonight, Autodidactic channel, I've got a premiere coming up with a really awesome interview. So I might see you there. All right. Love you all. Bye for now.